Corruption is endemic in this country. Corruption is deeply rooted, and corruption is the tradition of every political party. Parties in the northeast, parties in the north, parties in the west, parties in the south, and parties smack in the middle of this country. If there's anything that unites them all, it's corruption. You see, those who pass power, those who make bills, those who enact policies, is not by popular will. It's those who have the most money, because only those with money can afford to be elected. To win an election, you do not need to be a good man, you do not need to be qualified, nor do you need to have a moral value or loyalty to the people. No. What you need is money. And only 1% of this country, society has it. And that 1%, no matter how they want to cover it up, they want to bury it. Corruption is the bloodline of that system. The bloodline. Corruption is the reason why they sit on that seat, why they have the title of MLA, why they in their Innova cars put the long horn and put in a shining gold lettered plate MLA, member of Karnataka Assembly, member of Bihar Assembly, member of this assembly, that, because of money. Corruption is endemic. To win election, one needs to spend money. This is a dark part of democracy. To win an election in this country especially, you need to spend money. When the founders of this country, the form of this country, which is the Indian Republic, envisioned elections and democracy, it was so as to select the best ruler and to prevent and remove those who have shown themselves incompetent and incapable of ruling. They did not vision it to be who has the most money and who could bribe as many influential people to come in power. That is not what they intended. Has devolved into the worst form. Indirect rule. Corruption cannot be rooted out by one party, because every party, and in fact every independent, too requires money. Without spending money, you cannot be elected to power. You might be elected to a small level, but to reach the prime minister and to actually change this country, it's impossible. We've had 14 prime ministers. All of them either had immense money or power backing them up. It is not who is morally right, who is qualified. No, it's who has the power backing them. And you and I know that just because power is backing someone doesn't mean he is good. Elections, anyone who enters this game has to bend the knee and accept money, because the only way for politicians to recover the crores of money spent during elections is through bribes, contracts, and the like. So even if they don't want to be part of this system, they are forced to. How else will they recover for the next round of this game, this unending game? So many politicians, in fact, have started out with good intentions, but they have been corrupted by the system. Because you and I know that there is no politician who is a good man who lasts long in this game. Either he is bankrupted, or he is kicked out, or he rejected, realizing he He cannot bring about a change. He leaves. No wonder people call politics of every state of this nation dirty. And the term politician is not something anyone aspires to be. Nobody aspires to be a politician in any state. As a child, people want to be a businessman, they want to be an astronaut, they want to be a pilot, they want to be an engineer. Hardly anyone says, I want to be a politician, because that very term has become so dirty with this system has to be changed. We must ensure that elections have to be won without money, without buying support from influential people, without giving buying votes through various means. Elections should run based on objective facts of this man's competent. Does he desire represent our wishes or not? Money has no place because money is an unfair advantage. And to eradicate this, we must also talk about another problem which is highly associated to corruption in politics and the legislature, which is corruption in the bureaucracy. You and I know that the Indian government is highly corrupt. The bureaucracy, especially in the land department, khatas, and the rest, highly corrupt. Nothing, no work of yours gets done without paying some grease, without paying some luncher. Nothing ever gets done in those government offices. But the fact is, to solve this, paradoxically, the solution is to increase the salaries of the employees of the government, the public employees. Thus, if they have a good enough salary, they will be able to sustain themselves and their lives. They will be able to sustain their family and they will be able to live a good life. And if they are able to live a good life, they will not need more money. And if they do need more money, it is a sign of greed. And that can be punished as corruption. Here, many of them are underpaid. Many of us have gone to government offices. We have seen how poorly kept they are. And these employees work many hours. No wonder these employees are so eager to get to the lunch break or a holiday or what, or eager for all these breaks away from the office. Because have you seen the office, how poorly kept it is? How stinkingly low the salary is? No. So one cannot be surprised because if put an average man in that position after years, maybe he started out with good intentions, but after years of not having enough money, go to that same and old dreary mundane job in that horribly kept place, dealing with the internal politics because as we know, the employees of the government are also deal with a lot of internal politics and the slow process, the chain of command of information. All these truly make it a burden to get things done, even if they wanted to. And within year by year, they slowly and slowly warm up to the idea of taking some little more money. So with an increased salary, this problem can be solved, majority of it definitely. And the second way to solve it is to simultaneously implement an independent and strong department solely for targeting corrupt practices. That was what the local youth bill was supposed to do, but still, as you know, corruption is endemic. And corruption has not changed at all in 2025. It is as bad as it was many years ago before the local youth bill too. In fact, what should be most done is that support should be given unconditionally from the highest post of office to the officers in this corrupt bureau. Take, for example, in 2011, the Karnataka illegal iron mining cases. That time, Lokayukta was present. There was a man, I am unsure, I forgot his name, I do not remember it as of now. But that man was leading an investigation into the local mines of Ballari, illegal mining. He was investigating it. And one of the stories reported in his Lokayukta, Karnataka Lokayukta 2011 report, which is online, you can check it out and read it yourself. The fact that while he was investigating and asking the laborers and workers of the illegal mine about how many acres they have penetrated the government land and how depth and all the various metrics and valuable information pertaining that field. One of the owners of the mine, illegal mines, henchmen, came up to him and advised him to go and told him that the owner wants to talk to him on the phone. And the man, the investigator, he refused. It's not. He's supposed to refuse. It's not for him to be accepted and pressurized. So the henchman goes back to the car, and apparently the investigator can still hear the conversation that's going on. They're not very far away from what's going on. So he hears the henchman on the call speak to the owner, and and he was insinuating or suggesting an idea that maybe they should put a SC and ST atrocity case on the investigator to get him to bug off. An SC and ST atrocity case. SC atrocity case. A false case they want to plan. That is how dirty, scummy, and cheap, and how ruthless it is, how much they're willing to stoop down to use the SC Act, which is a special act that is really of something valuable because indeed even today and just many years ago, as you know, every year you go past, the cases against SC/ST was horrible. So truly to defend them, this special act was brought to them and to use that to defame the name of the SC and ST community just to get rid of a lawful officer is hideous. So you can see how deep corruption was, and this was just 2011, not very long ago. And to think 2025, we are suddenly living in utopia. We are suddenly living in Swarga. We are suddenly living in heaven. It's ridiculous. So you can see what kind of pressure is going to be put on the officers of this new potential corruption bureau. So the only way is that they need support from the top government. But how can the top government do it? How can the top government even support when the top government itself is so deeply corrupt? There's a reason why everyone says Modani, 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 and no one has and the government has not come out. The accused has not come out with concrete, definitive evidence that there's nothing going on. And even if they say publicly it's not, we will always have this feeling that there is something going on behind the scenes. So now you come to see the whole cycle of it, the whole game that even if an honest politician wants to enter, honest man wants to enter, he's either kicked out or he's so broken, dejected, and destroyed by the system, worn out, bankrupted, isolated, ostracized, into oblivion, sent to say, get out, this is not belonging to you. And he leaves. And thus, no systematic change is actually will occur in India. This is the reason why India is so slow to progress. This one obstacle, like a rock in the path, is blocking us. We must come and find a solution to improve this country's progress immediately because we cannot afford to be behind China, USA, and the Western countries any longer. The world is moving at alarming pace, And times are not being as peaceful as they want to be. We're moving into more dangerous waters as years come through. Every year in this decade is turning out to become more and more dangerous, more and more uncertain in the future. It's time we hurry up, time to implement the changes which we know we can bring about and reform this country into the powerful golden bird Sonic Chidia that it once was, to make it to the power of the Mauryan Empire, once the strongest empire in this world, to make it as powerful maritime as the Chola Empire, to make it as wealthy as the Vijayanagara Empire, to make it as righteous as Lord Krishna envisioned it to be. This is Bharatvarsha, this is Aryavarta, this is India. It is up to us to fix the problems. After all, who else is going to fix our own problems but us, the people? No one.